I'm coming. I'm coming. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Chaos. I like it, Tony. We like chaos, you know? Good morning, everybody. Looks like SKBL is bouncing off 50s here, isn't it? Off the 50s. Interesting. And then NBY with a double top for now. With the double tops for now. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Pyro. Andy, good morning. From the gym, the business hub. To drive home. So you're trading from there? Okay. Let's see what you can do from the gym, Andy. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. A, good morning. T, good morning. J, good morning. Lizzie, good morning. Franco, good morning. Boogie, good morning. Floyd, from the Combine or from home still? Good morning. River, good morning. Martin, good morning. Patricia, good morning. Good morning, Russ. JC, good morning. YW, good morning. Kyle, 2 p.m. here in the UK. Kyle, welcome to the community. Welcome. Elisa, good morning. Justin, good morning. Thomas, good morning. Anyone in on Wishbone Gold? Rita, good morning. Sick Money, good morning. Amy, good morning. D, good morning. Yesenia, good morning. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Tokel. Chenzi, good morning. Vets, good morning. IT, good morning. Avio, good morning. If I pronounce your name wrong, just blame somebody else in the chat. Carl, good morning. Work, good morning. CM, good morning. Winterfell, Ayo, good morning. Robert, good morning. AK, Ayo, Ayo. How are the meetings? Alex, good morning. Willie, good morning. Jason, good morning. Grant, good morning. Ahmad, good morning. Nathan, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. NBY keeps fighting with that $1.85 resistance. Cody, good morning. Emma, good morning. Hopefully at some point it's going to break above it. Hopefully at some point we will break above it. Alrighty, AZTR had some really good news this morning and the stock did well. And then we hit a double top as well. So both of those names, top two names, they both kind of look the same though, right? They're going in range. So we need some breakouts. PTNM, not a bad run this morning, right? So again, if you are a gold member, this kind of plays out really nicely to you, right? So because this was nice. Right, if you've watched any of the videos on how to play stocks with news, or you've had a a one-on-one, this is a perfect setup, right? That was a really good scalp, easy money on that. But now, though, the thing is kind of going sideways. So let's see if we can stay above the 200 EMA into the open. This looks interesting because sometimes we have names like these ones that, they've had the volume from earlier, They've had a nice pop, but then they've sold off and they're doing nothing. Sometimes these names can end up popping, right? So we'll keep an eye on that. Nvidia has earnings today, which is going to be big for the markets. Mute my Discord. Right, this is going to be huge for the markets. So maybe expect some chaos today, especially after hours and maybe tomorrow, or just scamminess. So we shall see. 7 p.m. Okay. Kevin, ayo, good morning. How are you? Tam, good morning. Virus, good morning. Hoyt, welcome to the community, by the way. Good morning. Why? Like, is that the German good morning? Sounds like German, doesn't it? Especially with your name. Good morning, Hoyt. I'm not sure if you've used the link and you're in Discord now. I'm not quite sure. Let me know if you need the link. Alrighty. Let me know if you need the invite link to Discord. Again, welcome, 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 welcome. And yeah, good morning. So hell, good morning, Mark. Are you ready for SPY NVIDIA earnings? Some cash, some covered calls. Anyways, yeah. Again, the expectation is that NVIDIA will beat earnings because they always will. I saw a statement from the White House spokesperson, not the White House spokesperson, the dude. You guys know who I'm referring to. They've obviously taken a stake, or they're thinking of taking a stake in INTC, right? So then someone else asked, "Are you guys planning on taking a stake in Nvidia?" And they responded, "It's not on the table because Nvidia doesn't need money, right? Because Nvidia doesn't need money, right? INTC does. INTC needs help. Nvidia is just the goat of stocks, right? So these guys will beat earnings. That's never the question. The question is, what will it do after they beat earnings, though, right? Does something else happen that the market doesn't like, right? So complete gamble. And obviously, that will have an effect on the entire market, obviously, right? Because NVIDIA is the goat. Prasad, good morning. Lion, good morning. Yeah, a little bit earlier today. And then FLNT, that's another one that we kind of like going into the open, but it's also right below the double top, right? So top three names, NBY. This was a swing play, right? Momentum started last night, right? So again, this thing kind of started yesterday, right? So this is why we say come join us in Discord, right? Because the news for this started yesterday, right? From 80 cents, 90 cents, and it just continued, right? So and then swing play, right? Because it held up really well, right? Into today, and then it's hit that brand new high. And now you have a double top at $1.85. So this one will need to break above $1.85 or retest closer to $1.60. So those are going to be the levels to watch on that. AZTR, again, these guys had good news, right? But you also have resistance at $1.50, so we need to break above $1.50, or maybe play with $1.20 and or $1.05. So those are going to be the levels on that one. PTNM, we kind of talked about why we like this one, just because it's going sideways, right? Maybe a bit of a push at the open, right? And then FLNT. So for the most part, those are the names for now for me, right? This one had a pop earlier, so we'll keep an eye on it, see if we can maintain some higher lows. But that's about it, though, right? That is about it. DEVS looks interesting as well, so maybe that thing will pop once the market opens, but that's it, right? So those are the names I'm interested in, and those are the levels I'm going to be paying attention to. Question for you guys in the chat: what's your favorite name going into the open? Beanie? Yeah, Beanie has a pretty high short interest for good reason though, because that thing is garbage, right? Patricia, good morning. Good morning if I missed you. There he is, Keegan. So AZTR, NBY, Open is, consistent scalper, both for you, Lion. Yeah. So those are the top two names for me, right? NBY and AZTR. They both need to break out. Um, but yeah, and then we have the other names that are kind of going sideways, that need a bit more help, right? Here goes NBY retesting that $1.85 again. So that thing keeps fighting them, right? So here we go again, right? So another retest of the top of the range there. You almost hope, that we break out right away or we go back for a retest, right? So, Keegan, Nicholas, let's go. Welcome, 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 welcome. Nicholas was like, you know what, guys? You know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Welcome, Nicholas. I'm just getting you an invite link to Discord here. Let's go. Dan, good morning, good morning. Nicholas, this is your invite link at the bottom. So click that link and follow the steps in the Getting Started channel. Okay? Welcome. Yeah, so click the link, follow the steps, and then Discord will unlock for you. Patrick, it's not, is it? It really isn't. It's holding a bit of a base above 260, 265, but it's going to need to break out, right? We kind of have a theme going, this week or, forever now, right? The names that tend to perform well at the open are the ones that break out, right? So we have a whole bunch of names and we're like, hey, this is my favorite name, this is my favorite name, this is my favorite name. And then the longer that thing stays below the breakout zone, the more people are like, okay, we already know there's resistance. You're not fooling anybody, right? You need to break out. And then we have a random name that comes out of nowhere and then breaks resistance. And everybody's like, yay, let's go. Right? Because again, you have to remember we're playing with momentum stocks. Nikolai, good morning, right? We're playing with momentum. We're playing with retail. People like breakout stocks. People like stocks that are actually performing, right? We don't want to sit here all day and watch stocks go sideways below resistance. So, as much as we always have a list of names to pay attention to, they also need to perform, right? So, NBY, we either need to go back and retest closer to $1.16, right? Or we need to break $1.85, right? AZTR, we're playing with $1.20, but we also need to break above $1.50, right? And then all the other random names we're going to be paying attention to, all the other random names. Good morning, everybody. Yeah. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hello. Hello. D. Good morning. River. Good morning. Al. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. So most of you guys seem to like AZTR or NBY, man, and I think it's because most of you guys are in one of the two, right? So for the most part, NBY, right? Most of you are in NBY. So let's hope we can get a breakout here. Cool. 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 Oh, both. Yeah, Jimbo. Yeah, exactly. So we need them to give us the boom skis at the open. 6 minutes to go. DSS with a bit of a pop there. A bit of a pop. Yeah. Other than NVIDIA reporting earnings today, I think we have CrowdStrike and then um. But yeah, nothing cloud. But yeah, nothing too crazy for earnings. Yeah, nothing that's market moving at least, other than NVIDIA. So we shall see. My goodness, that $1.85 resistance for NBY is strong, isn't it? Strong. Good morning, Raja. Heritage. Let's see. Greg, good morning. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. AZTR looks like it's holding that 120 for now, though, doesn't it? $1.20. What is the implication of Mango results on other following stocks? MongoDB. Good morning, KB. Good morning. Mm. Mongo. That's a question for Mark. No effect. The effect is non-existent. Yeah, MongoDB isn't one of those stocks where we're like, oh, okay, we need to, IPOs are. Yeah, no, IPOs haven't really done well enough that we're, keeping a really close eye on names. Uh, hmm. Do. Okay. PTNM. No, no, no. And hold. Do. 1 second. Do. Do. Perfect. Uh, I just wanted to post those levels and then we can move on because I know people are going to be asking. Ayo, Raven, good morning. Hello, hello. Mayhem, good morning. Jason, good morning. Waze's favorite is these. Cheddar, good morning. Danny, what's my favorite? Good morning. Mario, good morning. I talked about my favorite names already in levels and posted those in Discord as well in the HT Signal channel. Another scalper today, IVVD. Okay, that would be good. Anybody still in Nuke? You bought in pre-market? Just be careful, please. Right. So we tend to move on pretty quickly. Yeah. Jeffrey, no, it's not. Good morning, James. Hoyt, do you have the link? Are you connected and good to go in Discord? Let me know. Watch other software like Snow. Yeah, exactly. So here goes the market open, right? Two favorite names for now, NBY and AZTR. Right. So we talked about the levels already. PTNM, again, we like this one because it kind of looks sneaky. It's one of those sneaky things that you're like, okay, it's doing nothing and then boomskis at the open, right? So that's why we're keeping an eye on that one. And then this one, just because it's sitting at support and they had news, right? So this one a bit more suspicious, but let's see if it can stay above $2.60. Alrighty, there goes NBY with a nice little break of $1.85, which is the level we've been trying to break above. But it's the market open, so be careful, be patient, right? We're obviously breaking out and not really closing above yet. So it needs to break above $1.85 and then start consolidating above that level, and then maybe it's ready. But again, the good thing about this one though is most of you guys are in this already, so it's easier to manage that position, right? So easier to manage a position when you're already in, right? If you're holding NBY, type yes in the chat. Which again, the answer is going to be yes, yes, yes. Right. So again, since last night, this one's been a nice little swing play watch, right? Yeah. See, yes, 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 yes. And then So let's see. Still kind of going sideways there. Nothing, not a whole lot happening there. So most of these names are doing absolutely nothing, right? Because it's the market open. It is the market open. Alrighty. So again, NBY still needs to close above $1.85, which it looks like it really wants to though. It really, really wants to. Will it do it? Hopefully it does. Yeah, see? A lot of yeses, right? Yes, 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 yes. These other two names are still just consolidating. AZTR is doing a good job of holding $1.20 for now, right? But we also need to get back above the VWAP on that thing. The EVS, yep, not bad. Nothing happening there. The S&P is still red for the morning. NVIDIA has gone from green to red now. Maybe this is a good thing for their earnings actually. And you can tell that this 185 level is so important for NBY. It's a really, really important level because we're just sitting there, right? So this is 185, right? So those candles are just playing games there for now. So it really needs to break out with some proper momentum there. Again, this is the problem with the open, right? Is you have crazy candles that don't actually do anything. And even if they do break out, sometimes you're still a bit skeptical, right? So this thing needs to find a way to start consolidating above $1.85 or dip all the way down to retest the bottom of the range, right? Which it looks like in this case, maybe we will do that, right? So either or is okay. Righty. And then AZTR is just relaxing, but it is holding the bottom now, right? So I think in this case, we need to close above $1.35 and then we're looking for $1.50. Brian, what's your question for ALLR? What is the question? To VIR. Okay. To Again, this is why the advice usually is unless you're really confident and you're in a position already, if you're not sure what to do, give it the first 5 minutes, right? Give it a few minutes at the open and let the markets relax a little bit. Okay, let me take a look. ALLR. Yeah, again, this to me is nothing. There's nothing going on here for ALLR, right? AO Martin, right? There's just nothing going on here, right? Especially at the open, every spike needs to be watched with patience, you know, because look at that, it spiked, but like there's nothing, right? So, um, okay, what's happening here, guys? What's happening? Why is everything just chilling? Why is everything just relaxing? Let me take a look at DEVS. That's the other one we liked, right? So even though it's not at the very top of the list, right? So this one does look interesting. So nice little curl there though. Dip into the open, right? So then your next resistance is 383, 385. BLEN also looks good, doesn't it? BLNE, BLNE, hmm, BLNE. Yeah, let's see if it actually does end up breaking out. Like I said, the support for this one, Dragon, it closer to $1.20, right? Um, but there really isn't a whole lot going on here, so we'll see. Alrighty, AZTR is retesting that 120 as well, right? So, and then NBY, nada, right? So, patience at the open, guys. Patience, 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 right? Patience. The S&P is still red. Virus, are you doing anything with NVIDIA? Anything? And AZTR. So we need to stay above $1.20 or kind of consolidate around $1.20 for AZTR. If not, we're going to test $1.05 ish. At least test the 200 EMA. Alrighty. So again, these are all names we like. There's nothing wrong with any of these names. It's just people are really not sure, right? We keep saying it, right? So people are really not sure about any of these names until the stock gives them a reason to be excited, right? That's when people are like, oh, oh, you're the one. Okay, right? People like to be forced to get into positions, right? AKA FOMO. So for now, if everything just keeps going trending down, everybody's just gonna sit back and watch. MU and spy puts. Okay, so you're gonna win one way or the other. One way. Oh no, that right. So we're still dipping here. Right for NBY. So again, we're testing that demand zone, which isn't bad. Maybe this is a good thing for people that are looking for brand new positions. The closer we get to the bottom side of the range, the better. Right. So the better. So let's see if we can stay above here for NBY. Still at 120, still playing with 120 AZTR, right? And if nothing else, again, it's not really consolidating, so we look for that 200 EMA, right? And then go from there. DVS says, hey guys, I'm going to break out. Since nothing else is, I'm going to do it, right? So DVS with a nice little breakout there. So that's looking good. 398, right? So again, people will go with the names that are giving them reasons to be excited, right? So here comes a $4 test for DEVS. There goes brand new highs, 410, right? You notice like the difference, guys, right? So nice little breakout there, and then your next supply zone is right below 420, right? So which isn't a massive surprise. It's the usual psychology thing, right? So again, NBY and all these other names still look okay, right? NBY is still holding that demand zone, which is good, right? It's just initially, right? People want to see breakouts, especially at the open. Yep. Let me pull up a BLNE because that one's popped up on the scanner a few times. Yeah, it's getting slapped, right? So again, that's the issue with the open. Hong Kong Police Department, that thing seems to run every morning, Pyro. Well, I mean, yesterday morning, and then so 420 and then retest. Again, AZTR. I wish this thing was closer to that 200 EMA because I think we'd be FOMOing into this maybe. Into so poorly, Jason. Yeah. The open is just way too crazy. Through TradingView or your broker. Which broker are you using? That doesn't allow you to trade DEVS. So I still don't mind both of these. So AZTR I still like, right? AZTR and NBY, right? I still don't mind those. We just need to consolidate and get some higher lows. So again, I think for this one we mentioned in Discord we're looking for closer to $1.60, right? So let's see if we can get to $1.60 closer, right? And AZTR still just playing with $1.20 there. PTNM just not giving us anything worth looking at for consolidation for now, right? Nice little pop for DEVS, but then the retest. So if you look at the bottom of the range from like the left hand side, this is you look at that level. This is what we're retesting, right? So I think for the most part we're just wanting closer to $1.60 because, right? But if you look at that last support coming into the open for NBY, it was right there. So this is the level we're retesting basically, right? Retesting the double bottoms. The double bottoms in the DEVS. Nice little bounce there. Interactive brokers isn't letting you trade DEVS. That's really surprising. That's very surprising. I wonder why. Maybe try not to do it through TradingView. Maybe do it like through the broker. Maybe that'll make a difference. You can't trade EVS and Fidelity either. Oh wow, I wonder why. Maybe it's because they wanted to pump it. They're like, okay, none of you guys should be in this. You know? Yeah, look at BLNE, right? So really exciting. And then all of a sudden we're dropping back to the abyss. You can't hear the music. Music is on. The music is on. Mm, 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 mm. That was a nice little pop for a wreck. ESST with a nice little move as well. That thing's had a lot of hype lately. ESST. No music. You can hear it now. Okay. Maybe it was just too quiet. I think it's just noise canceling, right? Um, Everything has noise canceling now. Kyle. Okay. Trading 212. Okay. Yeah, if it's not letting you trade in, then there's really nothing you can do, right? So, Lonel, let's go. Welcome, Lonel. Welcome to the community. This is your invite link at the bottom of the chat there. Alrighty, so click that link and follow the steps in the getting started channel. Cool. See, I still don't see anything that I'm like, oh yeah, this is the one, this is the one. DVS, maybe if we can dip closer to $1.50, between $1.50 and $1.40 there, and consolidate and curl, right? NBY, obviously we've hit a double bottom, so that's good. So hopefully that thing has a bit more volume coming in for the breakout, right? So, and then AZTR, again, just no signs of consolidating and actually curling yet, right? So weakness, and we're going for that 200 EMA test, which is kind of what we wanted to see anyways, right? So let's see what happens closer to the bottom of the range there. For AZTR, yeah. For yep. So nothing stands out yet as the one. It's interesting how the S&P is going up back to green, and NVIDIA is getting slapped. I kind of don't mind this though, that NVIDIA is going down, but the markets are going up. Um, just for earnings, you know, just for earnings. Yeah, FLNT. Yeah, it's trying to come off the bottom here. A bit of consolidation of the 200 EMA actually, AK, which is nice. Right, so nice little bottom test and then pop. Are you in this one? Probably. Yeah, there goes 270. 270. Okay, yeah, AZTR just lacks volume. It looked like it was halted. Hmm. Okay. That was a nice dip actually to 340 there for DEVS. Nice little retest of the bottom. Yeah, and then your resistance for this one is right between 270 and 275. Already for FLNT. Yep, line there it is. Right, so we're going for that 200 EMA. For the 200 EMA. Yeah, NVIDIA. Yeah. One second. Hmm. Okay. So it looks like we're bouncing up the 200 EMA for now on this one. For now, FLNT is looking good, testing the VWAP to the upside there. AK, did you buy up the 200 EMA there for FLNT? You did, didn't you? Yeah, nice little pop. $2.85 resistance. You did? Okay. NAMI. So NAMI had some news. NAMI. Yeah, FLNT is looking very good there. It's always interesting, like you have some of these names bouncing really nicely up the 200 EMA, and then you have the other names like no signs of like holding up the 200 EMA. Yeah, that was a really nice pop on NAMI. Okay. Yeah, so that $1.85 there, AK, that's your next resistance on this one. Your next resistance. Let me pull up NAMI. China. That's a nice push actually with that catalyst. Yeah, there we go. And if you're wondering what the news came out right at the open, like as soon as the market opened, they dropped the news, which is interesting, right? For NAMI. There goes the on halt. They're launching the world's first AI-powered learning glasses, which sounds pretty cool. What does that actually mean? Probably nothing for the stock, because those things are not gonna. They're not gonna. Anyways, but for now, momentum, right? Play with it and move on. Jill, look at that criminal. Good job, Jill. Right there goes a $2 push. Yeah, Nami is flying there. Flying. Just be ready to run though, Jill. Alrighty. To me, this is gonna be more of a pump and dump than anything else. Alrighty. Yeah. FLNT. Yeah. It looks like we're finally closing above the 285 level on this one though. Right, and then you have a supply zone right into $3. Right into the $3. WAI isn't doing too bad too, is it? Right? Maybe it's a China themed name, right? So $2 resistance for this one just because it's a nice round number. And then WAI, Top King. These guys changed their name, if you guys remember, but nice little pop stamp on this one. So both of these are China. China. Alrighty. That was a bit of a scam, Ken. I was hoping NBY would actually, like sit in that range there for a little bit. That thing said, nope, nope, we want to pump. That thing said, nope, we want to pump. FLNT is still fighting with that supply zone, but still around at $2.85, so still the same resistance. WI is pumping there. Look at that thing cook, guys. Right, so yeah, China. Maybe this is going to be the theme. Maybe we can now have names like CHSN. Start moving. There goes 21 pennies, guys. Flying. Flying. DVS, oof, they slapped that thing to the abyss. My goodness. Slapped it. Right? So this is sometimes the issue with like headlines, a catalyst that you can't really trust, right? But look at the WAI go. Damn, that thing moved. And it's not stopping. 24 cents, guys. Sheesh. 25 cents. 26 incoming. Damn. 27. Oh my days. 29, 30 cents, 160%. Damn. 31 cents. Wow, 33 cents, 34 cents. Today's a China day. 35, 36, 37. If you're in this position, probably consider taking some gains. Probably consider taking some gains. Damn. Someone called the fire department because that thing moved. Wow. Sheesh. My goodness. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, make hopefully if you got in, hopefully you took some monies. Yeah, Hong Kong Police Department cooked yesterday, right? And then we had this other one on the left hand side, another China name, and then WAI, right? So, what's going on here? Good job, Mohammed. 23 to 31. If you FOMOed into this, you got paid quick. You got paid very quickly. Oof. Yep. So again, make sure you're paying yourself on this play, please, right? Don't sit there and say, but, no. Joel, well done. That was quick. Congratulations. Look at that. Right? We looked at that thing breaking above the double top, then it moved quick. Wow. Was not expecting that. Blind entry? Yeah, if you got in, you got paid very quickly. Yeah. That was FOMO. FOMO. FLNT is really still fighting to break and actually hold above, isn't it? So you saw that the double top, yeah. Yep, exactly, exactly. So yeah, we might even go back and retest the same range there, um, right, and then go from there. We'll see what this thing ends up doing. So I still don't mind it yet, right? But it's gonna need to start performing here soon. AZTR is still just also sitting at the bottom there, at the double bottom in the demand zone above the 200 EMA. But it clearly has no volume because the volume has been going other places, right? And SPY is back to red. NVIDIA is deep red. AZTR, look at AZTR, right? So holding up that double bottom in the 200 EMA area, and then a nice little pop. I think the only issue with is you can't really trust these names yet, you know. There we go. How does volume make a difference? Good question. And so when we talk about like volume making a difference, it really depends the type of volume you're getting, right? So volume is not a standalone thing. Volume matters when it comes through with price action. Alrighty. So volume is really important when it's coming through with price action. Like if a stock is performing and it has volume, that's really important, right? Whereas when a stock is selling off and it still has good, it has a lot of volume, then it doesn't really matter. So volume alone is not that important. It has to you have to combine that with like a stock that's doing good things, right? Higher lows, double bottoms, push, higher lows, breakouts, right? Then that's really good volume. So volume basically represents buying, right? Buying and selling. So if a lot of volume is coming in more than it usually has, it's a good thing if the stock is performing. Does that answer your question? Hopefully it does. So there goes NAMI retesting the double top there. Yeah, good. So for example, like a stock like this, right? So to me, the only use for volume is when I look at a stock like this, right? When I look at a stock like this and the average volume is 400,000 shares, and then on a given day, I mean, think about it, right? Like average volume for the entire day over the last 30 days is 400,000 shares, right? The market just opened not that long ago and we're already at 5 million, right? So this tells you that it's a good thing, right? It has good volume, right? So now the other thing you have to think about is what's the stock actually doing, right? So that's my extent of looking at volume. That's it. Good job, Jill. I like that. That's a double top, right? That's my extent of looking at volume. I know people like to look at like specific candles and say, "Oh, this candle is doing this. This candle had this much." To me, it's like, is the volume there for me to trust the price action, right? Good volume to trust the price action, right? So for now, clearly it's a double top. So the volume doesn't matter because it's a double top, right? Like this, if the volume can be 100 million, but it doesn't mean a damn thing if we're at a double top, right? But it's enough volume for you to trust the price action and say, okay, if we dip, if we break out, if we do this, right? Then I'm like, okay, okay, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Cool, cool. And then you can kind of see the same thing, right? So we have a lot of resistance, a lot of supply up there for FLNT, right? And it's filled, right? Average volume is 800,000 shares. Today, the volume is 21 million. So the volume is amazing. But the price action, though, what does it look like, right? Cool, cool. Look at this. This thing is pushing back up again. WAI. This thing is an absolute beast. I have these two names on here because they're both, China names, right? So maybe the considered sympathy place. The sympathy place, right? So NBY is dipping into that range there, into the range. right? So it'll be interesting to see if we can actually dip in and just consolidate and stay above that level. Alrighty. Mm, PTNM with a bit of a curl there, but a bit of a curl. A bit of a curl. PTNM. Nice little consolidation, right? So look at that. So dip, 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 right? Dip, 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 and then a bit of consolidation, and then the pop happens. Right. So sometimes you really need to be patient at the open for the names you like to actually consolidate. Right. And if they're not doing that, then you just kind of stay away, look at something else. Right. So clearly Nami, good job, Jill. Right. Even if it goes higher, it's not a problem. You saw a double top, you saw that resistance. I think you could have sold the first time, right? But again, you had second confirmation of the double top. So even if it does break out now, there's not a problem there, right? So these two names still look quite interesting. SPY is pushing, retesting the highs of the day. AZTR has just been trying, but really not giving us anything, crazy. I think the most annoying thing with NBY is just the how slow it is, like super super slow, super super slow. In HD with a nice little pop there. Yeah, Keegan. Yep. Let's go, Raven. Let's go. Well done. So ah, very nice. Very, very nice. And again, with names like these ones, like the China stocks, you just have to take those gains. You know, you just have to take those gains. Um, and if they keep pumping, that's okay. You know. So yeah, we're retesting that $2 resistance again here for Nami, right? NAMI retesting. Retesting the bottoms. And then again, so we're still kind of watching NBY at the bottom of the range here, right? So you almost want to see that thing dip into that 60 range, even though that's not something that we should be. But I want to see dip into that 60 range, you know, and then we'll go from there. Choo, choo. Choo, 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 choo. Into the 60 range. Let's see. Yep. So yeah, you're looking for 60 to 50, $1.50 to $1.60 is what I was looking for on this one. So this is what we wanted to see, right? And then max loss on this would be 10 cents. I can not exactly yeah. um it would have been nice if you had like one of the VWAP and or the 200 like below $1.50, but obviously we don't. So we shall see what that thing ends up doing there. Alrighty. Nami is still testing that $2 wall, and it seems to be a pretty strong wall because that's almost you've had like that's the third time you're testing it now, and it's still failing. So Jill, give me a high five. Well done. Yeah, Nami is trying to climb, but you can clearly see the resistance. Like yeah, that's the third time now, right? That is the third time there. This is the third time. AZTR is still fighting here. My goodness. And things like, please, can I stay? Can I stay? I'm like, yeah, just go. Yeah, so this is why again, when you get those warning signs, right? You want to make sure that you take them. And if it breaks without you, it is what it is. Unfortunate, you know. So, and again, we're still kind of chilling here with $1.60 for NBY, right? That thing needs to start curling like now, because it's already in a bit of a weird zone, right? A bit of a suspicious zone, so it needs to start performing. Nvidia is recovering, because why not? And SPY obviously at the highs of the day. Obviously at the highs of the day. I know, right? 3, 2, 1, go. And it looks like we're trying to bounce on NBY. Trying to. I don't know where all the volume went to. Where did all the volume go, guys? Omega. Yes. For now. For now. Maybe NBY is going to be the frustrating stock of the day, because we seem to have a lot of those lately. You know, we seem to have a lot of those lately. They just want to be frustrating instead of just going boom skis. You know, no. Why? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Random, do you have a question for in HD? I know it looks good, right? So again, DVS maybe up to 200 EMA here, guys. Right, maybe up $3. Maybe it stays above that level. AZTR, like I said, this one's been fighting for its life here, right? So maybe now, maybe it'll finally start moving, right? Off the 200. Yeah, it looks like it's really trying there. So we'll see if it actually performs and actually give us higher lows. And then a bit of a double bottom for FLNT here. Good job on taking those gains, by the way. And then RR looks interesting. This one started running yesterday. A nice little breakout from the on a bigger time frame. Like if you look at the daily, it was a nice little breakout there. So that doesn't look horrible, right? But it's going to be one of those slow scalps. And then INHD random. Yeah. Then $6 supply zone, it looks like there at the top. $6 supply zone. But nice push though on this one. Really nice push. 590. Yep, exactly. So maybe if Nvidia beats earnings tonight, Tony, maybe that thing will cook as well. So there goes NHD, brand new highs of the day. Yeah. The only issue you're gonna have is that supply zone that you're sitting in for now. Yeah, NBY is already giving frustration vibes, huh? Unbelievable. Right. So again, the range is 160 to 150 for now. So let's see if we can find a way to keep consolidating in that range. But you can tell the view app is already acting as a problem there. That's why we don't like being below the view app, right? But we don't like being below the view app and the 200 EMA is because those are usually obstacles. Um, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that thing can stay in that range and then go from there. AZTR, you can see the mini double top, right? So double top, it doesn't mean you have to be at the top, right? It doesn't mean you have to be at the highest level, right? So you can see that last resistance there. So that creates a bit of resistance on that thing. So it's gonna need to go boom skis. And then INHD is like, hey guys, I'm the one. So let's see if we can actually give us a breakout. Let's see. Time to reform on that thing. Maybe if you're gambling up the low 20s there with the stop loss right below 20 cents, Chris. Right? Seems to be holding 22 cents for now. So it's more of a gamble play than anything else, right? More of a gamble play than anything else. Again, NBY, obviously we like that at the bottom of the range there, but where the hell is the volume, guys? Where did it go? Right? So again, it's holding the bottom there, which is cool, but look at the volume, right? So the volume is 105 million, right? The average volume is 7 million. So this is why we say volume is not the end of the world, right? Volume is very important when price action confirms it. So, because yesterday we had some names and everybody's like, oh, not everybody, but someone made the comment that um, this thing has a lot of volume. It has to go, right? Not necessarily, right? So, volume goes both ways. So, goes both ways. WAI is like, hey, I'm at back to 26 cents. Back to 26 cents. And DVS is still holding that 200 EMA, but clearly not a whole bunch of volume either. Not a whole bunch. Why does it feel like we're at lunchtime or something? What's going on? Why does it feel like lunchtime? Yep, maybe NVIDIA day. NVIDIA day. NVIDIA is pushing back, so that's nice. And the S&P is happy with that. You know what's crazy is the S&P could actually hit a brand new all-time high today. With all the chaos, we're not that far away from a new all-time high. Crazy, huh? Not that far away. Yeah, like it is pretty slow, isn't it? It's pretty slow. Yeah. Days like these though, where like people have a reason to focus on the bigger markets, they usually is slow. Again, and PTNM is still holding, which is okay, right? At some point, something will break out. Um, at some point, something will say, okay, 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 okay. I've had enough. Enough of this rubbish. Good morning, say. EPWK with a push to the highs. Um, you think AMC will break out? Is that before or after Mullen breaks out? Dennis, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just because we said like we like the 160 range for NBY doesn't mean we wanted to sit there. Just because we were like, hey, we like a level doesn't mean we're like, okay, just go down there and then chill. For some reason my stuff is glitching there. Here we go, 166. So at least we're bouncing up that range, right? So 166. Jeff is running for the hills. And it went up, just saying. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Can you buy and sell again? Maybe at that point we're gonna squeeze. Right? I'm kidding. Makes you laugh. Yeah, but again, you could hear though that we were looking for like the 160 range, right? So 160 to 150, right? So if you bought above that, maybe that's the issue, right? So it would be nice to see these candles close back above like the 200 EMA, right? That would be nice to see. Would be nice to see. So we're playing with the 50 there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Super slow. WAI is doing a good job of like just going back and forth here, Chris. 27.30. 28 pennies. 28 pennies. And then in HD again, you can see the red zone, right? Sometimes the red zone makes your life so much easier. Right there. It's like, hey, I'm red. $6, we're back to 530, right? So, and then WAI is curling nicely here. 26.50. 26.50. Only an increase or lower current stake, Kyle. Why? Because you have a margin account or cash left. I mean, it might not be a bad thing, right? The stock isn't like if we actually break out, then okay, regret. For now, we're still in that same silly range, right? Chris, yeah. Had to go to a meeting and like to be out when. Oh, I see, Chris. Jason, I see. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Mm, 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 mm. Uh, and we're still sitting at 165, huh? Right. So we're gonna need to start reclaiming some of those upper moving averages here for NBY if that thing really wants to move because it's pretty slow. PTNM doesn't look bad at all. Also pretty slow though. So China seems to be running the streets for now because everything else way too slow. Yeah, interactive brokers maybe Kyle. Take a look at that. The one-on-ones are always Eastern time. So when you schedule a one-on-one, it's usually Eastern, but I think it converts it to your time zone. It usually does. So let me take a look. Take a look. So 1 o'clock Eastern. So 1 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh, look at Nvidia, guys. Nvidia is about to go from red to green, and the S&P is pushing for all-time highs. Like from this top, we're less than 30 cents. Well, I mean, now we're 30 cents. 30 cents from the all-time high. Crazy, huh? uh, crazy, 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 crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Do, 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 do. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Do. Hmm. Hong Kong monies. China. So, Kel, pretty slow, isn't it? You took your profits. Yeah, you did. You sold at 6, Nicholas. I'm glad you did, right? Because you can clearly see the resistance, right? A $20 would be worth 3,000 buying in buying power. Yes, yes. But Prince, 585. Okay, good job. Better than what it's at now, right? Have you? Did that pay for your membership, or did you take a smaller position? Mm, 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 mm. See what I mean with NBY? Like we can pick a level that's a nice level, right? Like that range was nice. That's why we wanted to buy at that range. We can't predict where the boom season when the boom season is gonna come, Just that's the unfortunate part. So your job is always to look for a good entry, manage the position, pray for the best, right? Find a good entry, work on those entries, work on risk management, right? The rest not up to you, you know? The rest is up to the vibes. Good, Keegan. Like, look at you, right? On one trade, Keegan, right? So, see why it wasn't an issue? See why? You got a feeling for AZTR? As long as that feeling keeps you above $1.10 and above the 200 EMA, as long as it keeps you above the abyss. Why I see different on the volume thing than I have? What do you mean? Where? Like on TradingView? Yeah, RR has been nice, huh? Look at PTNM, right? So PTNM did a really good job actually. Up the bottom, really good job. So again, it's really, really slow. Like it's 5 cents at a time, 10 cents at a time, right? Like it's not that big of a deal, but at least it's moving in the right direction. $1.35. That was some really good consolidation of the bottom, though. Right? Good dip, good consolidation, double bottom, triple bottom, nice little EMA crossover, right? Beautiful, guys, right? So a nice little plan coming into action there. I hope so, Raven. Can you imagine what the markets will do tomorrow if Nvidia cooks and it's pushing all-time highs? Like, let's say Nvidia is running to $200. Just imagine what the markets are gonna do. SPY is gonna be at 650, and everything's gonna be flying. Oof. That's if the markets don't already make all-time highs today. Craziness, craziness. And then AZTR still just playing with that bottom there. So DVS also playing with the bottom. So double bottom, demand zone, 200 EMA, not bad, right? Question is, do we have enough volume to want to push? Yep. Long term, 47. My goodness. Beautiful, Raven. Beautiful. Let me pull up RR. Rich Tech Robotics. Very nice. Slow and steady on this one, right? Slow and steady. Slow and steady. This is the robot thrust, Yeah. The business, like, I don't know, like, it's not a bad idea, is it? Like having robots serve you and stuff. But then people also use those jobs. Uh, people use those jobs. But I think the whole idea, right? Like having a robot server and things like that. Like if you go to the bar, like someone bringing your food out, I think that's cool. That's what these guys do until the robots rebel. Jimbo, I don't know about those ones, but I'd rather have personal interaction work. Yep, I think most people would rather have personal interaction. You know, yeah. It's there's no way of stopping stuff like this though. Honestly, it's gonna happen. Like robots cleaning floors, robots serving your drinks. Um, yep. Uh, yeah, just way too slow. Way too slow. Mm. Until you get a rude robot. Yeah. So we've looked at this company so many times in the past, right? And we've watched a whole bunch of the videos. Um, it's stuff like this, right? It's like actually they've changed the video. Look at that, right? So what's interesting is, that's somewhat of like an efficient tool, right? Like you can set it instructions and blah blah blah. Yeah, this is almost like serving food, but this is the. I wonder if they have a collab with Mercedes Benz because this is what this looks like, right? Because this is a Mercedes Benz dealership, right? So maybe they're looking for ways to be efficient. Yeah, this is the robot is called Adam, by the way. The one that serves, I think, is called Adam, right? Yeah, look, this is the robot mixer, right? Mixologist. That thing is taller than you. Unbelievable. Actually, they changed it. Yeah, so they've added all of them to the. You can order your drinks though. Look at that. Like you can order your drinks or your food, right? The restaurant, right? Look at that, and it's serving. Do 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 do. So that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Do, do, do. But yep, the future. There we go. Back to this thing is so slow. Again, we picked the right level on this one, right? We picked the right level. We just don't know when the boom skis will happen. Uh, like you can see how we keep failing at like 66, 67, right? So we need to break above that. Right, so we keep going up to the top of the range and then failing. So that thing needs to give us a breakout. And look at that, another fail at 67 again, right? Pretty annoying. Pretty annoying. AZTR, yeah, same thing, just chilling. Why is everything annoying today? Why is everything annoying, guys? Good morning, Sam. Hello, hello. Except you know what's not annoying? It's the robots. We went on perfect drinks. They did. Oh wow, look at that. Oh cool, Mark. Yeah, see Dan, you need to go on trips with robots. That is very cool. Yeah, so slowly pushing them, right? And then NBY is just playing games here with us. Instead of thrusting, it's going sideways. Your TFSA? Ooh, that's cool. I like that. Quest trade? Good. I have to retire from bartending before I lose my job to RDT R2D2. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon, though. Honestly, not anytime soon. I don't think we're in a place where like people will just easily accept that. I think most people still prefer like human interaction and things like that. So um, yeah, too much AI is not good. We already have too much AI. Well, the areas where we can make things efficient, but like when it comes to like serving people and interacting with people, I think that's really important. Yep, it really is, Sam. And I think we're moving away from that, which is very sad, right? The areas where we can make things efficient, but they're just areas where like just let people do their thing. It uses this robot. It's a sushi Korean barbecue place. Yeah. Yep. Anyways, we'll see how things happen. From no, 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 make the I do the annoying stuff rather than yep, exactly. Winterfell, I agree. That's what AI should be for. Make AI do the things where like that people don't want to do, like the annoying stuff, the stuff that's hard for people, right? But the stuff that like people are, yeah, like social beings, right? Interaction, that stuff shouldn't be replaced. Here we go, guys. NBY is fighting for its life here, fighting for its life. Come on now. Maybe we just need to talk more trash. There we go. 169. Yeah, I like it. I like it. So let's see if we can reclaim 170 and actually stay above 170. See if we can reclaim that level. The other robot stock is the SERV stock, right? Serve. Uh, let's let's go, Tony. Did you make your daily goal while you were gone? Babies inside of a robot? Really? Why? Anyways, isn't it like Anyways, ah, it's the Skynet of reality. A chip battery. He's safe. Yes, Pizza. Let's go. Good morning, Pizza. How are you? Yep, Tony, especially now, like when the markets are going up and down and giving sus behavior. Yeah, sus behavior. Yeah, RR has done well. Yeah, I do think though some of this stuff is going to be cool. Um, like for people that are like if you have 10 employees, and like one is a robot, okay, fine, right? That's okay. I think this is going to be cool until people go to the bar and they're like, hey, you know, I'm sure people genuinely like to interact when they get their drinks. Uh, Stuff like this though, like at a dealership, right? Yeah, that's different. There are a lot of jobs like that, right? Where you can create efficiency. But anyways, they'll figure it out. It's a trade for him. Yeah. Yep. Actually, I'm sure you could do that. I'm sure you could do that. That'd be cool, actually. The S&P is going for all-time highs again, guys. We're 10 cents away from all-time highs. 10 cents. Even with all the drama, we're still 10 cents away. Right? As expected, right? We want to be pushing into September, right? That's what we wanted to see. Pushing, pushing, pushing. into the Fed rate cut, and then we can dip after that, right? So for now, the Fed rate cut should be the driving factor, but then tonight with NVIDIA, we'll see what happens. Hopefully that's just more, right? You're in at 37 cents? Pizza, please, I beg. Ben F, Jeff, the in at 37 cents. So you're green in that position. I know this one ran the other day, and then we basically retested. So I like your entry, Jeff. As long as we stay above 35 cents, I like your entry, right? Purely technical, I like your entry already. So as long as we stay above 35 cents, alrighty, you can kind of see how it's trying to curl up that level, right? So you have a bit of resistance at 40 cents, which is really not a surprise. It always is, but yeah, yeah. 38, okay, yeah. As long as it stays above, and then obviously NBY is just annoying, right? That thing looked like it wanted to go, but then we're back into the same stupid range. AZTR equally as annoying. PTNM annoying. If you again, Nicholas, good job on selling this thing. You see what happened if you don't sell, right? Right. Red zone slap. Yeah, earnings. Yeah. So hopefully those earnings don't suck and the stock does well. So back to the Adam stock, and then the other AI stock, the other robot stock is Serve. This one here, right? So you can see that they're both done. They've both done well today. Nothing crazy, right? Like this one's up 16%. RR is up 17%, right? So not that big of a deal. What happened to our like 300% gainers, guys? What happened? What happened? What's going on? Is everybody really just waiting for Nvidia? Sheesh. Right, STSS with a nice little pop there, though. STSS. That was a good breakout. Yeah. Good breakout. No, 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 no. Rory, that'd be good. They'll be selling them on Timu. China builds world's first robot to deliver babies at $14,000. Sheesh. Can you imagine your baby being born by a robot? Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The nanny bot. What if that baby comes out messed up, and then is attached to the robot? So you're not my parent. Leave me alone. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do. My parent is the robot. And then you smack the baby, and then the robot says, "Uh-oh, eliminate targets. Must protect baby. You're dead." I want to go back. Just found out my parents are poor. Oh my goodness. No, thank you. Unbelievable. Anyways, but honestly, that's just life, you know. That's just life. People are usually looking for ways to make life easier, right? STSS is halted up, guys. STSS just got halted up 1685. So nice little pop. But right, that's the take a look at the video how imitate humans. That's crazy, Dan. Let me pull up that video. Actually, that video might have copyright, so I might have to play it like on my own time. Yeah, probably has copyright because the last time I played a Boston Dynamics video, Um, isn't that crazy? Hmm. I almost want to play the video though, so we can all see it. Craziness, crazy, crazy. Yeah, good job if you sold Nam. By the way, guys, again, Jill, how are you? Are you feeling good now that you sold this position and it went down? Right? Sometimes you just have to make that decision. Let me pull up the video. Hopefully, it doesn't have like issues with it. Right? Uh, I'm gonna forward it a little bit because I bet you they have like isn't that like uh, these things gonna be walking in the street, you know? So they're basically just copying humans, you know? Just copying. Should you keep it, Lonel? What's your entry price? What's your stop loss? These things are like America's Got Talent. There's so many different ones, you know? Like that's supposed to be a pet. Can you imagine this thing chasing you? Why is this one in snow? What is this, Canada? Something running on isn't it crazy? Crazy, huh? Oh, that's an ad. I'm like, what the hell is that? 58? We're gonna take a look. Yeah, these guys are pretty cool. Like Boston Dynamics, pretty cool. Look at that thing doing like the uh I do. Maybe it's because the videos. Anyways, um, that's look at that. The guy's cool with the backpack. It's really cool, but damn, can you imagine this thing chasing you? Yeah. Anyways, yeah, craziness, craziness. NBY is the slacker of the day. Let me take a look at SKBL. We looked at this one this morning with the when it had that initial push, right? And then it got slapped, and then we talked about 50, looking for 50 cents. That thing came all the way back up again. So that 50-cent area was actually quite nice, Raven. Beautiful. Yeah, now you just have to be aware of, the closer you get to 80 cents, like close to 80 to 85, you're going to have a lot of resistance up there. Yeah, Boston Dynamics. Yeah. Yeah, no one's doing it as well. Yeah, I think they're just well diversified, right? Like Tesla, Elon is, we don't know what Elon's doing, right? So I'm sure one of these days Elon is going to post another crazy video, right? Of the but Tesla is also not exactly a cheap stock. Nice job, Raven. That was a good scalp. Let's see. And then STSS is unhalted. If anybody played with this, yeah, 1760 at the highs there. 385. RR, you're in at $3.85. How did you get in at 385, Lonel? Right? Did you yeah, you waited till like yeah, you waited till like the very, very top, Lonel, right? You waited till like the very, very top. How often do we say don't buy stocks when they're pumping? How often do we say that, right? So Lonel, you sign up for the right membership, by the way. There's a video in the new trader education section at the very bottom. Watch that video. It's gonna help you with this. Alrighty, this is something you shouldn't be doing, right? This is definitely something you should not be doing. Absolutely not, right? What should you be doing instead? Looking for the breakouts, right? This is a bit of resistance. That's a breakout, right? This is a breakout. That is not a breakout. So put a stop loss. Alrighty. Hopefully we stay above 350. If we do, you might just be okay. But your entry was not good. So hopefully we stay above 350. Cool. Cool. STSS, brand new highs of the day. I think it's just flying there. Flying. Flying. Did anybody FOMO into STSS? Yeah. So there we go. 67, Austin. Not horrible, right? Not exactly what we want. We want more boom skis, but you can't pick and choose. You know what I mean? So at least it's something, right? And it's still fighting, right? Like NBY is still in that range we like, right? But where the hell is the volume? This thing is lucky though because nothing else is cooking, right? Like STSS has done well, but it's a really expensive stock, so that doesn't take away the volume. So right, so that's why we keep going back and forth here because everybody is still like, you know what, maybe there's still a chance, right? Because nothing else is there to take away the volume. Tight stop loss. He made $500. Beautiful. Congratulations. We'll take $500 any day of the week, right? Good job. $500. It would be nice if that thing just broke out, and just started pumping. Lonel, yeah, it's fighting. Yeah, your entry was just a bit, difficult, right? Just a difficult entry. Just a difficult entry. Again, if you're still in this, you're probably still green on NBY. It's just annoying. It's just super, super annoying. Right? So it's giving you 5 cents more than, 5 cents, 10 cents. My problem is choosing which stocks to pay attention to. I often have focus on the stock and often no. Your choices go fizzle. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Dan, when's your 1-on-1? When's your 1-on-1? That's something we can definitely work on. Not Scotty, not definitely not a bad entry, right? It's just annoying. Right? By the one that's going up. Yep, exactly. Definitely not a bad entry. Just annoying. Is all. Right? Clearly, judging by this, we picked the right entry, right? Because we've been off this level and up, right? And then back down to the same level and then back up, right? And then back to the same level and we're trying to go up again. Like, it's just playing games there. It just doesn't want to break out, and there's really no way we can predict that, So, alrighty, yeah, yeah. No, Dan, I would say just focus on the strategy, right? Just focus on the strategy. Pay attention to the alerts that come out in stock general. Already, that's gonna save you from just focusing on like hyper focused on one name that isn't performing. That's why we have the scanners in Discord, right? Focus on the scanners and then focus on the strategy. That's it. Alrighty. So alerts going off and strategy. That's it. Forget about the names that you like that you're paying attention to. Focus on the names that are actually going off. It is very slow. Yeah. Let's go, Dan. Let's go. Okay, NVIDIA has actually gone from red to green. My goodness, look at that. From red to green. Shish. Yep. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. Mm-mm. Yogi, did you buy more Bitcoin dipskis? Get in and exactly. Raven, exactly. Right? On slow days, you just want to scalp. Because you know nothing's gonna cook. Nothing's gonna go up 1,000,000%, right? So, it's a few cents here, it's a few cents there, it's a few cents here, right? So that's just what you do on slow days. You take what you can where you can. You take it where you can. PTNM is actually doing okay, right? It's not moving. It's not doing anything crazy though. Slow. So retesting resistance at the VWAP there, but double bottoms. Trying to watch the VWAP. Watch the VWAP. INHD. Nicholas, I know you're paying attention to this one. It looks like it's holding the 200 EMA for now. So always an interesting level to pay attention to. For Van, we need 200. 200 so we can fly tomorrow. Fly tomorrow. Can you imagine though? Seeing Nvidia $200. It doesn't seem like very much, does it? But it's a pretty big deal, right? Because it's already a $4.5 trillion company. Right? $4.5 trillion company. Like that's crazy. So yeah, NBY again. We know NBY is a good buy off the bottom there. We just don't know when the volume is gonna kick in. So here we go again, 166, right? We keep going up and down, up and down. When the hell is this thing gonna actually break out? When? Dan, can you man the cannons? Make some phone calls, please. We need boomskis. We need boomskis. This is when people go on social media. They're like, okay, if everybody buys one share, it's gonna cook. Those messages used to be so funny when you're watching like an AMC or Mullen, and the social media groups are like, if everybody just buys one share, can you imagine what's gonna happen? Yeah, like nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. Relax. Anyways, SKBL looks very good. Raven, that thing said thanks. Goodbye. If everybody buys one share, we're gonna squeeze the shorts. Ah, unbelievable. Yeah, because you needed to the double bottom. It's more of a need at this point. Ooh, look at Nvidia. Damn. Okay. Very nice. S you, Scotty? Hopefully not. Right? If you want to be really, really safe, honestly, you could put that stop loss at break even or 1 penny above your entry price, right? Then you could say screw it, you know? Then you know you're not going to walk away with any sort of redness. RR is holding that double bottom for now, so that's hope. And then at the top of the supply zone here, 90 cents. SKBL is stalling a bit, stalling a little bit. Looking very good, very nice. Peter, was this message for this chat or for the OnlyFans chat? Unbelievable. My only question is, like these other companies, where are they getting the volume from, and how come NBY can't seem to find the volume? You know, good looking chart, all the right things, right? How come it can't seem to find the volume? PTNN breaking 140, at least trying to. Two, 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 two. $1.40. $1.40. You would think that stock was halted, guys. You would think this thing was halted, but it's not. It just doesn't know what to do with itself. And then the market's at 10 cents from all-time highs, guys. Ooh, I want to see this. I want to see this. Come on. At the highs of the day and 10 cents from all-time highs. Are we gonna make brand new all-time highs? At a time? Green is green. A very slow day. It really is very slow, Yogi. Very slow. So far I've made 85 scalping NBY 1,000 shares at a time. Yeah. You're just what you're feeding now, Yogi, is lunch monies, dinner monies, Uh yeah. Sports fees, Yogi. Today is, other things. Mm, yeah. So 20 cents away per van. It doesn't work anymore, does it? Yeah, like I tried looking today. I'm like, wait, what's going on? Then they were asking me to sign in. I'm like, I don't have an account. Like, what do you mean sign in? Maybe it's because, we were using it so much and they're like, oh, you guys like using it, huh? Let's make it paid, not free anymore. That side was good though because like you didn't have to go digging too much to see that a stock was priced for an IPO. Now you do, right? So now you get a list like this and you look at the date, right? So for example, like some of these say the 28, right? So 28, 27. So like this one doesn't really count. We don't care about that, right? So these other two though, the 28 and the 29. Now at some point tonight or tomorrow, we need to, especially tomorrow morning, right? Morning of the 28, we need to look and see that that's actually been priced. And then we can go from there. So now we have to do the work, you know? Which is kind of annoying, but not that big of a deal. So it's going to take us maybe 2 extra seconds. So all you have to do is go to the SEC website and put in the ticker symbol, right? So you see the date, right? It's like, hey, 28, expected 28, right? So then put in the ticker symbol into the SEC website and see if it's been priced, right? If you have all the documents for the listing, and then go from there. AZTR, yeah. Most things have been super sussy today, though. R is still looking for that double bottom there, Lonel. So hopefully it's really trying for you. Trying. Mm-mm-mm. Had to sneeze. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. The robot? Yep. PTNM is looking good, isn't it? Yeah. This one kind of gave us those vibes at the open, like coming into the open at least. It just had to dip first. So again, 43%, not that big of a deal, but better than nothing. So is anybody scalping this one? PTNM? PTNM. So nice little pushy there. You're almost back to 370, Lonel. So next time, make sure that entry is better, though, please. Try not to FOMO at the top. I promise you, every stock will always dip. As exciting as these stocks seem, you never think a stock is going to dip, right? So you buy at the top, it's always going to dip. Always. Where we can see the stocks that are. Copy. Okay, here you go. I know, right? Godspeed. Pretty annoying. Pretty annoying. The S&P is 10 cents again away from brand new all-time highs. Tesla, Lunel, 135. There you go. You're making some monies. Yeah, there you go. Right? You're making some of the monies back. Better than your last entry. Good job. Right? Make sure you move your stop loss up though. Don't let it go back down. Right? You protect the gains. Protect the gains. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, 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 mm. PTNM. Choo, 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 choo. Choo, 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 choo. Okay. Yeah, we're back to 166, right? That's the thing. Like the den thing isn't gonna. It's not dying, right? It's just annoying. 20 years later, still waiting for NBY to break out. Here we go. Again, the buy range was good, right? 160 to 150. That was a good spot, right? We just can't predict the future. That's all. Here we go. 67. Come on, you can do it. Just break. There we go. 68, guys. Come on. Maybe this time, guys. Maybe this time we're gonna break out. Maybe. Maybe. uh, maybe. Hmm. Maybe. It moves like it. This thing moves like no one's buying it. Push it, Dan. Push it. Come on. Where's the boomski, guys? Here we go. I like how we celebrate like every penny. We're like, come on, go, go, go. Here we go. Come on. Is 90 a dud? I don't know. I'll have to look. Man the cannons. Enemies in sight. Ready? Aim. Fire. Ridiculous, right? Like this is ridiculous price action. But at least no one's, at least you're not red, you know? That's always a plus. At least you're not red. Ah. Uh, For them to go up to the sky. Yeah, it's trying. It's trying. Holy water on you. Skeletons waiting. I pray it's worth the wait. Hopefully. Hopefully. I think at this point, you just have to, set the stop loss and hope for the best, and but you're protected on the way down. You know? So very, very slow. There's a nice block at 68. A nice selling block at 68. I was not expecting this thing to be that slow, but especially with like nothing else really moving. Like you'd expect it to be cooking. Be cooking. Don't forget to smash a like, guys, if you haven't already, please and thank you. I know we haven't really talked about that, but yeah, don't forget to smash a like. Take a second, smash a like, hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel already, and if you're not a member and you want to join us in Discord, let's go virus. If you're not a member and you want to join us in Discord, click the link at the bottom of the chat there from Nightbots, and come join us. Alrighty. Alrighty. Carolyn, on AZTR, we had hopes for all of these names, until they started breaking down like that. Mm-mm. Are you in this one, or you're looking for an entry? If you're looking for an entry, that's a different story. Then we'll talk about it. But yeah, what's your question? Let me know. For now, you have a bit of support at like 90, 93, 94. Right? So hopefully it stays above that. So that to me would be whether you're in a position or looking for an entry. I'd be looking for close to that level if you're looking for an entry. But if you're in a position, that thing, if it breaks below that level there, no likey, no like at all. In a 120, yeah, that's a lot. Carolyn, like try not to do that next time. Um, right. So in a 120, so again, like not bad at all. To me though, my recommendation for you would have been, so again, this is 120, not bad, right? We obviously had a lot of issues and we played with that level quite a bit, right? So you had some time to manage that position, right? But when you're breaking below this bottom right here that we've been holding and holding and holding and holding, as soon as it breaks below that level right there, Carolyn, that's a problem, right? You notice how it's holding, 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 right? When it breaks below, you have a problem, especially when you also have the 200 EMA sitting at that spot, right? So I'd rather you get rid of that position there. And then when we do crash and we're holding somewhere else, maybe you can come back in and make your 10 cents back, right? But at least at that point, you lost 5 cents, right? And at this point, you're losing 5 cents, 10 cents, right? Not that big of a deal, right? Better than letting it drop, 20 cents, right? Um, yeah, so try and manage those positions there. Yeah. And then RR, you're only down 10 cents now almost, Lonel. So you're coming back, coming back. Yeah. Last night I grilled baked potatoes loaded with sour cream, green onions, bacon, and so fresh asparagus. So good. Can you tell the market is so slow? The only thing Dan can think about is the food from last night. What a useless goat. Oh my goodness. The market's so slow, Dan's just sitting there and thinking about food from last night. That sounds amazing, though. That sounds delicious. That sounds delicious. Oh, should I upgrade? Carolyn, I would upgrade. Yeah, I would upgrade, and you can upgrade to the Legend Pro and watch the last class. We're gonna do more classes like that, or you can upgrade to Gold, and then that gives you one-on-ones. Alrighty, but yeah, you'd have to upgrade to the Legend Pro. And guess what? NBY is still in that same stupid range. So, like Yogi said, scalp, scalp, scalp. Right? 5 cents, 3 cents, 10 cents, whatever it's giving you. Yeah. Yeah, Carolyn, if you upgrade, it's you can now watch the last class we did, which was the breakout and the retest class, right? So that might be helpful. PTNM is still looking good here, so that's nice. That is nice. So we'll probably talk about like consolidation on the next class, maybe, right? The next class we will probably talk. We talked about breakouts, right? On the next class we'll probably talk about consolidation. There goes 160 for PTNM here, looking nice. Peter, you wish. 1 penny was yeah 49. Yeah, that was so close. Why wouldn't they just let it break out? Because I bet you Nvidia is already. Oh, actually, no. Nvidia is the looking suspicious, right? So, mm, mm-hmm. Yeah, PTNM is done really well from the bottom, like really well, like sneaky, sneaky, right? Really, really well. Not bad. Now, obviously, you're pushing a supply zone. Yes, Yogi, absolutely, absolutely. A menu writer with his skills. Yeah, some of the stuff Dan talks about, I'm like, what the hell is that? It sounds amazing. You know, that's the type of stuff yeah, yeah. Anyways, do, 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 do. Yeah, upgrade, and if you don't see improvement, Dan will refund your monies. Okay. Yeah. All that techie? No, that's okay. So the way that you upgrade is like this. So these are the instructions. You want to go to the Hot Trades homepage, right? So under the hot trades like membership section, right? So if you go on YouTube, you search hot trades, you go under your subscription section, right? So right there, right? These are the instructions. So for anybody that wants to upgrade, right? So go to the channel homepage of the membership you want, right? Click on the see perks, right? And then select the level you want to join, and then change level. Ready? For some people, for some reason, some people have issues with like the phones, like to like this level's grayed out for some people on the phone, but for some people that's on the computer. So just try a different device, try something else. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, these are the steps. Alrighty, cool. Yeah, NBY is just yeah. Yep, exactly. Just the fact, like, if you spend time in the education channel, that eliminates some of the silly mistakes. Like for example, we're gonna use Lonel as an example, right? Lonel is buying this stock at $3.85, right? And now he's praying that we go up to that level, praying, right? But this every time we do a class, for the most part, we've talked about like this is not it, right? Um, and especially if you've done a one-on-one, that's just definitely not it, right? Definitely not it. So definitely not it. Oh, Carolyn, my goodness, what happened to not being techie? You figured that out in like 2 seconds. My goodness. My goodness. So there goes PTNM. Carolyn, welcome. Welcome. Na, 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 na. Carolyn, what's your name? What's your name in Discord? What is your name in the Discord? I have work to do this weekend with that specific Legend Pro role. I wish there was a way that like you could mirror like a specific role, because when you create a new level, in a new role, now you have to mirror that to Discord, right? So you have to go through every channel in Discord and give it specific permissions. Oh, this role is allowed to do this and that. It's just so annoying. But anyways, I wish there was a way to make that easier, because that takes you like an hour just to go through all of that stuff. But that I will refund her money if she doesn't improve. Let's go, Dan. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I know we will. Carolyn will cooks has been paid. Oh yeah, look at that, right? Carolyn says my membership. It's called an assistant. I know, right? Yeah, I need to do that. I need to do that. I think by end of the year, yeah, something like that. Peter, you wanna be my assistant? Believe, believe, unbelievable. No. Um. Yeah. No, Carolyn's paid for that membership since joining. She's been cooking, so definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. And the S&P is testing those highs again, so it's just a matter of time. Yeah. I don't handle small tasks well. Ah. Yep. Carolyn, absolutely. Prasad, I do. With massive losses and absolutely, and especially having the community, Dan. We have a lot of amazing people here that like really help each other out. You know, a lot of people. So having yeah. You know the roasting is coming, right, Peter? I know, Dan. I know. Like I've talked to people that have like ridiculous losses, and then I'm like how? First things first. How did you get that money? Like some people like hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Like how did you get that money, and how did you just willingly throw that money into the market and lose it, right? We know how. We know how. Because as soon as you lose a little bit of money in the market, you're like, dang, I need to make my money back, right? So it's that ego, right? Everybody has an ego, right? Especially in the market. You lose money, you're like, nope, I just lost $100. Are you kidding me right now? Really? Then you go for more and then you lose $10,000, right? You're like, no way. Now I need to go even heavier, right? Heavier. Uh, yeah. Oh yeah, the screenshot. Yeah, let me see if I can. I should have it up here somewhere. And yeah, like so. For example, this stuff, right? So, and again, like like look at that, right? That's a lot of money, right? So, um, that's a lot of money lost. Like it's $20,000 here, $10,000 here, $1,000 here. Like this adds up. Like it's a lot of money. Um, but this isn't to me. This isn't like the person's fault, right? It's a lack of knowledge. It's a lack of planning. It's a lack of like just knowing better. La, la, la. Imagine if I yeah, Carolyn, yeah, right. Isn't that crazy though? Right? Crazy, huh? Again, it's just sometimes we don't know any better, right? You know. And it's nothing against anybody. It's just sometimes we don't know any better. You show up to the market, you see everybody making money, you're like, dang, I want to do that too, And then they take advantage of you. Um, because that's what the this is why we keep saying like AI is not never going to replace the markets. You know how they say like robots are going to replace everything, not the markets. You know why? Because the market makers cook from people that don't know any better. Right? Like 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 the market makers make a lot of money from like screwing people. So I know from experience. Well, you can't really blame the robot though. This isn't the robot's fault. This is a lack of knowledge, right? Again, this was never a position you should have been buying at the top. I let the reason I made a bad decision based on not on your feelings. Yeah, you want to change that to strategy though. AO extreming AZTR. I'd be looking for like right below 93 cents. Last month when you get a chance, but slowly double, Sammy. Oh no, I wouldn't. Did I laugh at that? The S&P is at brand new all-time highs, guys. Brand new all-time highs for SPY. Even with the Trump yapping, somehow we still made it to brand new all-time highs, which is cool. So let's keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. Let's get to 650. Do, 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 do. Ah. Do, 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 do. Yeah, you need AZTR extreming to stay above the 93 cents. If not, you're about to see new panic there. NHD is still holding the 200 EMA. You just need to clear the view up. So $5.20 resistance on this one. 520, and then RR is testing the view up again at the bottom. So hopefully it stays above 350. The other thing you can do is Lonel, when you're in a position, right? You could always just like if you're red, that's fine, but you can always take a smaller loss and move the stop loss up so you're not coming back to the same bottom, right? So hopefully, dang, today is really slow, isn't it? Like you're getting scalpies, right? That's fine. Some days are good for scalpies, right? Hmm. Virus, what happened? Horrible. Feels like a Friday. Oh, just the one trade like slow. Yeah, like it's really slow, like everywhere, not just like momentum stocks. Yeah, like large caps are slow. I really think it's just because we have such a big name like Nvidia reporting earnings today. Like it's such a big name. Um, as much as we don't like market makers, right? Sometimes the momentum that we get on momentum stocks is driven by market makers, right? So maybe on a day like today that we have earnings like Nvidia, they're focused on that rather than joining retail in the boom skis. Joining retail in the boom skis. Why is it moving like that, Stephanie? I don't know. Like it's just so annoying, isn't it? Right? Very slow, like just sideways. pretty slow and annoying. Not just big names, market cap of all. Yeah. BTAI, sure, I'll take a look. BTAI. Oof. Extreming. Where is the stop loss on this thing? Where is the stop loss? $5.04. Where is the stop loss? Right, you can see that like your last support, this actually goes quite a ways back. Yeah, this goes back. Yeah, that goes. Yeah, look at that. Right, this goes all the way back to like last middle of August. Right, this $4.20 has been holding for some time now. So 420 right there, 420 bounce, 420 on this day, right? So BTI, right? So you needed to stay about 420 ish. Already, that's your support there. 420 to 415. That's what I'd be looking at. And then SKBL, which we have up here somewhere. Skyline, not quite the flying, but it does need to break out, right? So a bit of consolidation, and then you need that 90-cent breakout. Yeah, at least something's testing the highs. At least something is testing the highs. Do, 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 do. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so 85 to 90 cents here. Are you in this one, Stephanie? Peter, alrighty. Have a wonderful rest of the day. See you later. You are, Stephanie? Good job. Yeah, just be aware though that you have resistance at 90 cents, right? So make sure you move your stop loss up on that thing. And then again, AZTR is still holding that, 93 cents. So that's hopefully it stays above it. Hopefully. NHD is having a hard time at 520s in it. So it needs to break out. STSS doesn't look bad at all, holding that 50 EMA. So 14.50 to 15 cents. As long as it stays above, not bad. And then SPY is just going back and forth. You can obviously that red zone for PTNM, right? A lot of red there. That's there for a reason. It is there for a reason. Let me take a look at PSNY. I don't like the stock, by the way, even though it looks good. You're in at 129, 129, I think, yeah. So you have a bit of a double top. I don't really care for that for now, though. Let me see what the daily looks like. That was a really good consolidation zone at $1. Really good. And if it can break out, it looks like if it can break above like $1.40, you have room all the way up to $2, right? Which would be nice. So yeah, for now, you can see why we're failing at $1.40. Because when you look at that daily chart, we failed here a few months ago. So for now, you have to watch this 140 for PSNY. If you can get a breakout, then there's more room to the upside. So yeah, good entry on the curly back up, right? Because I think I know what you're looking for there, which is good. So yeah, just maybe put a stop loss above your entry price and then hope for a breakout. Hope for the breakout. And then SKBL is really fighting for the breakout. You're welcome. Into the second half of the day, hopefully. Hopefully. Yeah, this might be one of those days where like the first half is slow and then we maybe pick up at the second half. Right? STSS still looks okay, which is good. Which is good. Again, don't forget to smash a like, guys. Hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel. And if you want to join us in Discord, this morning was nice, right? This morning was actually quite nice. We had a whole bunch of names moving. Like this is why I keep saying like sometimes you just have to wake up early in pre-market. Just wake up early, right? NBY was nice this morning. Look at this morning. Like it's so much better, right? Like look at that. So much better. The breakouts were clear. You were having beautiful retest levels, beautiful pops, right? Triple tops, easy to tell, right? AZTR was nice, right? They had good news. AZTR actually look there goes PSNY breaking 140, so that looks good, right? So this was AZTR, right? Like AZTR was quite nice. This like look at this, right? It was nice. They had news. Everybody knew that the news was good because it was FDA news, right? That thing was doing so well. And then we got to the resistance, right? Because it's resistance, you sell, and then we've been doing poorly ever since, right? So like there were a lot of good names this morning. So sometimes you just have to wake up earlier and make your goal, and then see what the rest of the day has in stock, right? So lately, it's been good pre-market, market open, volatility, but then slow, and then going into the end of the day, a bit of volume, and then after hours, a little bit more. But yeah, super slow. Are we talking a turtle? Seriously. So if you're not a member yet and you want to join us in Discord, click the link at the bottom of the chat from Nightbot there. Alrighty, come join us. So 152, hopefully, right? NHD is slowly pushing up there. PTNY, you can clearly see the resistance there. Lonel, I think you have things to work on, right? You're FOMOing at the wrong time, and when you see stocks that are in the red zone, you're still not taking your gains, right? So you definitely have some things to work on. Don't let those profits go to the abyss because you're being stubborn, right? There goes STSS retesting them, retesting the $18. Is anybody in STSS? Anybody scalping STSS? Yogi? No, I think Yogi's too busy cooking. Mm-mm-mm. To break. Okay. Yep. Choo, 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 choo. We also don't mind when the markets are like this, though. We don't really mind. And this is every month we maybe have a week like this, and then we're cooking again. So this is really not a problem, you know, because we know the 200% gainers are gonna return, right? Not a big deal at all. As soon as the next stock runs 200%, then it starts the theme, right? Because now everybody expects that. $17. Yep. Mark, we love slow burn on premium. Yep. Yeah, when you're doing those cover calls and they're about to expire, yeah, you've already, yeah, monies has been paid already, Mark. And then there goes SKBL retesting the resistance again. Is it done? Probably, Rodriguez. Right? That thing was meant to be a pump and dump, like we said earlier, right? So yeah, did it? I mean, kind of still in the same range, but yep. NBY, yeah. That thing finally said, you know what, guys, I'm kind of tired. I'm tired of stalling, tired of going sideways, right? Yeah. Yeah. So that's why for the people that are scalping that, they're happy they're selling at the top of the range, even if it's 5 cents. They're happy they're doing that because then stuff like this happens, right? Yeah, yeah, extreming. Yeah, um, I think that's more of a learning thing for you though, right? Because that should never happen. That, in my opinion, should never happen. You don't make gains and then you let it go to $4.20. That's a pretty big stop loss. That's a very big stop loss. That's way too big, right? So you should, in my opinion, that should not happen, right? So you should have had a better stop loss. And I think if you made that decision right away, you would have had a better stop loss. You just didn't think about it till late, right? So um, that's way too much. So yeah, just a lesson for next time, right? At least you're losing profits, not losing gains. I mean, you're losing profits, not losing like your own money, right? So yeah, work on those stop losses. I didn't put a stop loss because I was too emotional in it. Yeah, exactly. Right. So whenever you get in a position, you want to have that backup plan right away, right? Not just the one side, like, oh, I'm expecting it to pump. But yeah, what about the other side, Thumb? What if it doesn't? What if it doesn't? Yeah, this one's actually done well today. SKBL. Spy's going back for that high again. Yeah, Chris. Yeah. Yep. 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 Annoying, right? Annoying. Yeah, no, that's what we kind of talked about. Sometimes like when you're testing that top like that, just move that stop loss to even, right? Or just sell it at the damn resistance, just in case. Just in case. Luna, good morning. Yeah, rest. Markets are slow anyways. No, 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 no. It takes the good things it gives to Kel. Yep, 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 yep. I agree. I agree. Let's see. Um, there goes 95 cents. Nice little pop there. So this is one of the only ones that's actually pushing for the highs, right? Which isn't bad. Which isn't bad. $96. 97 pennies. There we go, 98 pennies. Stephanie, what's your stop loss at on this one? Yes, virus. What's your stop loss on this one, Stephanie? SPY? Damn, look at that. What the hell is that? This is the scam we see every time we get to all-time highs though. Yeah. If you're losing and FOMOing, you're not putting in the work. Yeah, I think so. I think so. So here we go. There you go. SKBL about to break $1. Okay, sounds good, Tokel. Have a wonderful rest of the day. See you later. If I could pay 50 cents each time, yeah, seriously, Carolyn, seriously. Yeah, people forget though. People forget when you get into a position, your main focus is, can it go up? I want to make money, right? But you always have to think of protecting what you have. Yeah. So a little bit of resistance at $1 here for SKBL. A little bit of resistance there. Is there support? Yeah, same level we talked about earlier. That $1.50, right? So it was $1.60 and then $1.50. So that was the initial range, right? So that would be your next level there. And then SL is breaking above $1 now, so that looks nice. This one said, "I am the captain now. Let me go, please. I am the captain now." Type yes in the chat if you're holding SKBL. And that bounced. Huge volume too. Can you imagine being in a short or catching a long? Ooh wee. Stallion? Ooh, monies. Money Stallion. CM? Good. Good, good, good. I like it. I like it. Yeah, just make sure you move those stop losses higher. Spy just made brand new all-time highs again. There he goes. I don't know what's happening, but something fishy is going on with those candles. And there goes brand new all-time highs. Maybe every candle is gonna come with like a 1 penny, all-time high push. There it goes, brand new all-time highs again. Can we get like a proper run, above all-time highs, like a proper push? Not like 1 penny at a time. Yeah. TRVI. Yep. Anyways, that looks nice. That looks nice. Mm. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. 46.61. And then still a dollar resistance here though for SK for Skyline. Skyline. Today might be an early stream, so I can go do some other stuff. So let's see where we are in 10 minutes, guys. 10 minutes. Let's do it maybe a 3-hour stream instead, 4 hours. Yeah, let's see where we are in 10 minutes. See if the markets can pick up. Then do some one-on-ones. Actually, maybe I can get up the stream and do some more one-on-ones today instead, That'd be good. Do some more one-on-ones instead of watching slow stocks, Yeah. Send it, Viro. Send it. I want to see 650, 650. And the month above 650. That'd be nice. And then send it to 660 before the Fed meeting for the rate cuts. That'd also be nice. A lot of this will depend on, NVIDIA earnings, right? The initial reaction, at least. So we shall see. We shall see. Richard, INHD. Yeah, like I said, everything just seems to be, scalpable today, but nothing is actually sustainable. Maybe a SKBL is the only one, the only sustainable stock for now, but that dollar is going to be a hard level. And then, yeah, so INHD, right? Slow and steady. Nothing crazy, Richard, but that 200 EMA was a good spot. Was a good spot. Recent split stock. Recent splits. I think would need to break out though. Alert. Say SUGP alert. Break up $6 if it can. If it can. STSS is retesting the bottom of the range, right? So top of the range, right? Bottom of the range for now. So let's see if we can stay above 1450. 5 Eastern. Is it that late, Salat? You're in at $5. That's a good entry, Richard. Yeah, just stay green on that position. BTAI. Yeah, maybe it's a good thing that Lodell, was it you in BTAI? No, I don't think so. Extreming. Maybe it's a good thing your stop loss hit. August dip. Oof. I sold a few yesterday. I'm holding some for earnings, but I'd like to do things. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice, Dan. Yeah, NVIDIA calls at that time. Beautiful. STSS. At 95, but it's nowhere near that. That's interesting. I wonder why. I wonder why. You waiting for the curl? You like these things at the highs, don't you, Lonel? Yeah, make sure you spend some time in the education section now that you have that membership, though, right? Watch those videos, please. Again, if you ever try to watch a video in Discord and it says you're not a member, click on the actual link, copy the link, put it on in YouTube or your browser, or make sure you are signed into the account you're paying with, your YouTube account, and then watch the video on YouTube instead, right? Go under the members hot trade section on YouTube and watch that video there. They're all in over there, right? So just make sure you're signed in. Dang slowness. Slowness. Oh, that's okay. That coma, that's okay. That is okay. Slowness, slowness, slowness. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. At some point, we're just gonna start looking for swing plays, but virus? No, not yet, not yet. Bull? No, not yet, not yet, not yet. Oh, uh oh, oh. That's a nice demand zone, actually. Looks like a suspicious inverse head and shoulder, doesn't it? Hmm. Harris, don't worry. Where did you go, Tony? What happened? Oh, yeah, working. Hmm. Okay, I'll look at those. I was waiting to get up the stream first, virus, but that thing is starting to. Yeah, I'll get them off the stream. Yep, I agree. Yeah, I think it'll be fine though. I don't think it's gonna cook right now. There goes Spy testing brand new highs. Testing brand new highs. Okay, working. Okay, that's okay. Tony, honestly, you didn't really miss much today. They've been scalps, but nothing crazy, nothing explosive. STSS is holding the bottom of the range, right? So let's see if we can continue to hold. Yeah, just going back and forth for now. Do, do, do. Can you look at A for you holding 2K at 207 ALLR? Sure. NHD is pushing there. Richard, you're still in your position. Your entry is nice because you're in below $5. ALLR 207. My goodness, these stop losses. Come on, guys. Ah. and realize, yeah, I totally wrote knives in the past. Yep. Uh, yep. 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 Choo, 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 choo. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. So this thing is trying, but not really doing a whole bunch though. Yeah, Keegan. Yep. Did you get back into this? I know you were looking for that entry. Did you get back in? There goes a brand new highs here for SKBL. You did? Beautiful. Beautiful. Good job. Good job. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, 105. Yeah, that last 104 high Winterfell. 26 seconds ago. BMR, news with NVIDIA. So these guys just had some news with NVIDIA. Demonstrates up to 50% improved video compression for autonomous vehicle accelerated by NVIDIA. Mm. Mm-hmm. Because these initial reactions are always a bit suspicious, right? The news seems interesting. It's always weird when a company drops news that doesn't show you the monetary side, because you can't really be overly confident what it's gonna do. But it's connected to Nvidia, so it'll be interesting to see if this thing can actually break out. Yeah. So testing 340 there. 336. Yeah, again, these initial candles, um, not you never really trust them yet, right? So price action. Yeah. Seems to be stuck around 330 for some reason. Hmm. 330. Look left. Yep. We can clearly see that resistance there, right? So absolutely, Chris. And it's honestly not that far away, right? It's right there, right? 340 resistance. So that's what you're testing for now. Yeah, the spread is a bit suspicious too, isn't it? But see if you can actually break and stay above 340. 340 is your next obstacle there, and then you're looking into the 360s. Very slow. Very, very slow. MU, especially with the markets. Um, yeah. Chris, I think you look left. I don't think very many people look left. um, MU. So yeah, if that thing doesn't break out, then meh, 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 meh. And SPY still playing with the 4660s. Yeah, today is a bit of a silly, silly, silly day. So again, BMR, if that thing can break out, that'd be nice. And then 104, right? Looks like we're breaking above it, but we're just going back and forth here for SKVL. Like nothing has amazing follow through today. Like nothing, right? So again, BMR resistance, no touchy at that level, right? Did I say 349? 340. 340. In the buy zone? Hmm. Yeah. NBY, honestly, still in that same stupid range, right? From 50 to 60. Silliness. STSS is still holding the double bottom there, but not really pushing. I mean, SPY might as well just stop flying if everything's going to be like this. As soon as we get off the stream, you know something's going to break out. Yep. Anyways, guys, let me know if you have any last questions. When does it show bull earnings? It says it actually doesn't show. It doesn't say virus. That's interesting. It doesn't say. Earnings. Okay, there you go. So August 28th, Thursday. So tomorrow. Support. Support. Yeah. NVIDIA, probably not. We're definitely going to be watching in Discord. Yeah, probably not. That would be good though, actually. But NVIDIA, I hope so. That'd be good for everybody, for the entire market, for the whole markets. Tony. Let's see. Maybe Weibo will pump with the earnings. Maybe they beat earnings. Maybe they say something nice. Virus, yeah, crazy. That thing just became a one day pop and crash. Why is Nvidia such a beast? Because they are the leader in the AI space. Everybody needs to go through them to accomplish the AI business. All the chips, superior technology, blah blah blah. They're just better. Ah. Mm. Again, let me know if you have any last questions, guys, and then we will hop off and go back to Discord. One more look, yeah. So your next support is closer to 90 cents there. Yeah, see, Tony, see. Yeah, so let me know if you have any last questions, guys. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. If you're new, smash a like if you haven't, please and thank you. And if you're not a member yet and you want to join us in Discord, you should probably come join us, right? So sometimes the easier plays are in Discord, not when the market opens. So come join us. Click the link at the bottom of the chat and come join us in Discord. Cool, cool. And again, yeah, let me know if you have any last questions for lunch. No idea. No idea. No idea, Tony. Do. No idea. Do. My goodness, slowness. Thank you, Salat. Thank you. Do. Carolyn, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Keep making monies, please. Keep making monies. Yeah, hopefully the rest of the day is more fun. If not, I think people are just waiting for Nvidia tonight. And if Nvidia is hot tomorrow, then the markets will be back to celebrating Christmas. If not, maybe it's because everybody's going for a long weekend, right? The long weekend. Only I would buy at the top. How did you buy at the top though? Because we made a top, then we went back down, and then we made a brand new top. Right. So put a stop loss though, please. Ready? Pretty please. Put a stop loss. Still kind of looks okay above 90 cents on Weibo, BTI. Yeah, sounds good. Do. Do. Tony, your birthday is on Friday. Happy early birthday. Sunday. Alrighty, y'all. We will leave it here for the day. Have a wonderful rest of the afternoon. Hopefully, something shows up and we can cook because this is way too slow. But that's okay. Some days are like that, right? Uh, Want us to win. For ourselves, not many YouTubers have your kind of spirit. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you. Yeah. Again, I look at it this way. Like, I think our community is a little bit different in the sense that like we spend a lot of time together. Um, and yeah, and like we get to know each other, right? And it benefits me no way for you to not win. If everybody's winning, we're all happy days. So we definitely want everybody to do well, definitely. So If you're not setting stop losses and doing some silly things, I will roast you because I think it helps. Yeah. So we will fight. Thank you, Austin. Have a wonderful rest of the day. CM, see you later. D, bye for now. Uh, exactly. Salat, exactly. It really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. So use them, please. Protect your money. Alrighty, protect the monies. Thank you, Luna. Enjoy your jog. Again, much love, everybody. Thank you all very much for the support. I really appreciate that. Alrighty, thank you. And if you haven't smashed a like yet, smash a like, and we'll catch you guys in Discord. Bye for now. Bye, guys.